Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to this Bulls Digital Update. I'm joined by UB Women's Soccer head coach Sean Burke, and we are at that point in the season, Sean, where the chapter turns. You go from the non-conference to the MAC schedule. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but before we do, give me an assessment on the 3-3-2 non-conference part of your schedule. What did you like? What do you need to get better at?
Yeah, I think we set up our non-conference schedule, pretty good balance, challenging some teams. West Virginia, who's obviously nationally ranked. Syracuse, who's off to one of their best starts in years, doing well. They tied Notre Dame pretty recently here. So some unfortunate results against those teams, but good performances. Really got a chance to test our group, and I think prepare us for the conference schedule. I think a couple games would like to see a little bit better finishing and maybe some results. A couple ties that they sting a little bit. But I think overall, when you look at you try to ignore the record because you want to look at performance at this part of the season. And I think we're on the incline, and things are going right going into conference.
Right. Well, everybody starts 0-0 now. You get to reset now as you head into the MidAmerican Conference part of the play. Now, is it good that you're starting off with maybe your two toughest opponents in the MidAmerican Conference in Ball State and Miami?
I guess we'll find out afterwards. I guess we will. But, you look at the last 2 years, the winner, we've played Ball State 3 times. We've gone to overtime all 3 times. Obviously 14 we were able to come out on top and won the regular season, and last year they came out on top and they won the regular season. So you hate to say that's decided in the first game, but we know how we feel about our team. Ball State is probably the most athletic team in the conference, and I'm sure they're going to be hungry because obviously coming up short with the tournament last year. So I like that we're starting out the gate with some 2 really tough opponents because it's really going to get a good gauge where we're at going into this conference play.
Is there a little budding rivalry going on between these 2 teams?
Yeah, I think you have to when you look at the players on the field and the matches that they've been in and what it comes down to every single time. It's hard not to. There's no love lost there. That's for sure. But again, it's 2 great teams that are the expectation for both programs is championships, and that's what both the players are going to be gunning for.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the performances of your athletes through the early part of the season, and let's start with the girl who joined us, or the young lady that joined us on our last week's Bulls update. She remains your leading scorer. That's Carissima Cutrona with 6 goals and 12 points.
Yeah, it's a great start. I think this is the first time we've had a player with that many points going into conference. Usually it takes them a bit to get going. So obviously her confidence is flying high. Unfortunately, minutes were limited against Syracuse. But hopefully this additional rest going into conference play, she can carry that over because I think she can be a force to be reckoned with.
Julia Banati, 2 goals and 2 assists for 6 points early on in the season. One of your co-captains. Talk about her key role both on and off the field for you.
Yeah, that's one player I think the stats don't do it justice because she's such a dangerous player. Every team we play, there are 3-4 players always swarming around her. And so much of what she does is make the players around her better and set them up for success. We'll continue to look on that just because she is so dynamic as a player.
You're getting great performances and great play from your goalkeeper. That's Laura Dogal, 0.87 goals against average, a pair of shutouts already. You always got to have that goalkeeper playing well for you. Do you like where her game is right now?
Yeah. I think a bit of a shaky start with just some inconsistencies, but she's starting to come into her own. Obviously had some really big saves for us against Syracuse. But there's no doubt for us to be successful in this conference, Laura has to be the keeper that we know she's capable of because she is. She has the potential to be the best keeper in this conference. She's got to put the performances day in, day out.
We talk a lot about it in relation to football, but I think it's a phenomenon that is occurring throughout all college sports that players are ready to play quicker than they ever have been before, and you have not been hesitant about playing a lot of freshmen on your team. Give us a sense of where that group is at and how important they've been for you.
Yeah, well, you look at the 2 that are in the back, that's a big responsibility for them to take on as Georgina at center back and AJ at right back. But they're so smart. They pick things up so quickly. And we've had meetings with them this week, and we don't consider them freshmen. They've had the experience. They've had plenty of minutes, but they continue to get better. They continue to grow. Their confidence is growing, and we trust them, and their teammates trust them. That's big.
Well, they're not freshmen anymore, right? Now that you're about to start the MidAmerican Conference part of the schedule, those days are gone,
absolutely,
right? Freshmen in name only, right?
Exactly.
So, well, good luck, and it'll be exciting to see you get cruising and to get on the way to trying to win another MAC championship.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Sean Burke is the UB women's soccer coach. We thank him for joining us on this Bulls update here on the Bulls Digital Network.